What can we do about things that keep us off the spiritual path? Hello, everyone. I'm Thomas, and welcome to my channel. I do all kinds of different educational videos, and a lot of them are on obscure topics that I think are very important. So they're usually like very obscure takes on normal topics. And one of those is the Tree of Life. This is an ancient model. You may have seen it as the Hebrew Kabbalah. It's the same diagram, but a different take on it. And this is the Tree of Life is really the ancient Egyptian version that the Hebrews got from the Egyptians, or indirectly. And this is a slightly different take than the orthodox Tree of Life that you may know from Aleister Crowley and the OTO and those people. But it's the same diagram, more or less. And what it is a model of our faculties of consciousness. And there really are 12 different faculties here. There's our 10 spheres, numbered 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there is a thing here called the abyss. And then there's a thing above the tree called the zero. So a total of 12 different faculties of consciousness. The 10 is really our animal consciousness, survival and instinct, our body, and the earth. And then the 9th sphere is our domestic consciousness, what we get growing up in the home, our ability to be very highly receptive, and then also to copy and imitate. And then memorize, copy, and imitate. Then we have our 8th sphere, which is really the public sphere, or the real world. This is the conventional wisdom, the belief systems that are proffered by the experts and the authorities and the institutions that we're supposed to believe in and follow, rationalize. Then the 7th sphere is kind of for people who are not so much into the 8th sphere. They see problems with the 8th sphere. They come over here and they propose alternatives. This is where our creative juices are flowing, our creative spark and our inspiration. This is where a lot of our artists and inventors are located, or those impulses, those faculties are located. And the inspiration allows us to move us further up the tree to the 6th sphere to start with, where we are here. This is really the middle of the map. This is the arrow that says you are here. And this is our free will faculty, our ability to pay attention and to make decisions. And the principal decision to start with is to stop paying attention so much to our conditionings that are down here on the lower part of the tree, to turn ourselves around and start paying attention to the higher parts of the tree, our more spiritual aspects. So this is where we pay attention, but we have to kind of reverse our attention to pay more attention to things that are more on the spiritual tip. The 5th sphere is our sense of justice, which comes down to the enforcement of the natural law or karma. And then the 4th sphere is about the articulation of that natural law into a cosmology, some kind of source that attempts to talk about everything in life, a theory of everything, or a grand unified theory about how everything fits all together. And some of these cosmologies are new and some are ancient. And there's no necessarily better or worse. You tune into the cosmology, but really the cosmology is based on observation, whereas the law here, given by the institutions and the experts, is based on edict or commandment or code. But this is based on how things actually work, not like just how we say it is. Okay, then this also is like the universal love and universal language. Universal love, unconditional love, your ability to love your enemies and to give, seeking nothing in return. Then the abyss here is our psychic powers, in particular our ability to tune into and recognize omens, and then to act upon them. 3, 2, and 1 is our divine triangle, the divine aspects within us. 3 is omnipotence, all-powerful, usually tapped into through mantra, synchronized sound, and this is also like an aspect of austerity, where this is joy, but this is kind of our ability to learn to enjoy difficult things. And then this here, second sphere, omniscience, all-knowing. And this is wisdom, our ability to really, normally you would think of wisdom as being deep thoughts. I suppose it is, but it's deep, being able to shut your mind off. And that's where the deeper thoughts, which are more like visions, and maybe metaphors or symbols, are able to take hold. And this is a very difficult standard, and so a lot of times we have to base our wisdom on a divination system or an oracle. And wisdom is really the ability to solve our problems. So that's so if we have problems and we're not able to solve them through shutting down our mind, we need to rely upon a divination system or an oracle. Then the first sphere has to do with everything, the all, omnipresence, all, everything, all at once. It's the all, everything, and it underlies the entire universe. Everything in the universe is underlain by one, the first sphere, and the one is all connected. So we're all connected to each other through this kind of ether that underlies everything. And then this is really like the zero ether, which is even further deep inside of us. You could say even so deep inside of us that it's actually outside of us, and it's really outside of the universe. And so those are the 12 different faculties of consciousness. Now, in my model, what I've done is I've kind of fractalized the whole thing. So I've taken these 12 faculties of consciousness and applied them to each one of the spheres. So I broke this down into its 12 different parts, broke this down into its 12 different parts, and so on. So you end up with, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, and so on, all the way up to 144 different fractal faculties or aspects or stages of life. The stages of life are not chronological, but they are dramatic. So dramatic stages, we have 144 different stages in our spiritual path that we need to negotiate. And if you'd like to get a free list of those 144 fractal faculties, just click the link in the description. I'll send you out an annotated list of those, and that will help you to learn this quicker. There is a learning curve to the Tree of Life. It's recommended that you memorize the diagram and memorize just a little blurb about each sphere, and that will get you on your way. But the tree is a mnemonic device, and it needs to be committed to memory on a certain level before you can really get it to power your psyche. It's a fantastic tool once once you break through and get the hang of it. It's easier than your high school chemistry class, but it still requires a little bit of commitment. Okay, now today we're going to be looking at stage number 45 out of those 144 different fractal faculties. Stage number 45, what can we do about things that keep us off the spiritual path? Now this is located here in the seventh sphere, but it's really the third fractal of the seventh sphere. So it's the third fractal, so it's an aspect of the seventh sphere. The seventh sphere is about joy and about creative spark. It's about inspiration. It's about beginning to move up the path. And the third sphere within there is, as I was saying, a lot of it is about austerity. It's omnipotence, being able to tap into our power through sound synchronization. And then the austerity part is where the seventh and third sphere, a lot of times they work together, where this is our joyfulness. But at the third sphere, we basically learn how to enjoy things that are difficult. And so this particular sphere, or this particular stage, is called Ablutions. Stage 45 is about giving up habits and comforts and conditionings that restrict us and or others. Joy comes from within discipline. Instinct, emotion, sensations, animal impulses don't own us. Prove it to ourselves. Sobriety, austerity, and thrift are needed to move on up, exalt. As we transition from animal to ethical orientation, the spiritual path. So, what are we celebrating today anyway at this party, on this holiday? Or are we eating nuttin', eh? A la cold turkey or piping hot with stuffing? Celebrate what you will abstain from, what you will ablute. Celebrate genocide on Columbus Day, peonage on Labor Day, slavery, not liberty, on the 4th, executions on Easter, or are you eatin' nuttin'? Divest by cuttin'. Fight back, and our arsenal, our ammo, is strictly what we're willing to ablute. Divest, aspire higher, rise above the plane of vestment. To be a galactic good neighbor, aspire higher, rise above, weigh the waste. To be no longer a victim of its isms, a victim of its 12 steps, with instead a plan to divest. But ablutions are a quick way to lose our popularity, to lose our status in the public sphere. But a way to affirm to ourselves our consciences, to gain some individuation and harmonization with life. Life becomes all the more full, all the more fulfilling when we get off a food stimulant or any stimulant. Few, if any, revolutions succeed long term because they develop major internal conflicts due to habits and conditionings that they perpetuate into power struggles. These conditionings are the bars that bind us. Take them on one at a time. Form a wedge. Use leverage. A sequence of ablutions are the path off the ledge, off the edge, and out of this mess. Okay, that is our short version there on number 45, Ablutions, the third fractal within the seventh sphere. If you got anything out of that, please press the like button and the share it with others. Subscribe to the channel, and also click the link below if you'd like a free list of those 144 fractal faculties, so you can keep score at home. You can listen to this video and say, oh, that's number 45. Check it off the box and learn a little bit about it. And then, you can cross-reference and refer to other fractals that you may think are similar or different or contrasting, and use it in order to help you learn the tree itself. There are also some, the diagram is also on there, so you'll be able to have a reference for the thing that you're trying to memorize. Although I do recommend that you make the drawing yourself, because that helps you to memorize it, and it's just a much more powerful form of learning if you do a diagram yourself. But you got to do it, you have to do the, you have to not miss any lines. You got to have all the lines. Now, whether it's on the right or left side, I don't believe that really matters too much, because it's a symmetrical drawing. You can either say, the things on the left-hand side are referring to the left brain, but if you reverse the diagram, then you can say the things that are on the left-hand side are related to the left hand. So either way, you can do it, and otherwise, have a nice day, and stay tuned for future videos from me.